Howdy everyone, my name is Oreo Cannon. I am a licensed real estate agent in Austin, Texas. I'm a computer engineer and I own the Investory, an end-to-end real estate service that is disrupting Austin. Explaining the full scope of the company is something that will take me probably an hour, but my editor told me that I need to do it in 3 minutes, so here is my try. Put a counter and let's start. In order to explain what does it mean end-to-end real estate service and what is the core value proposition of the Investory, I want to take you through a journey of my own experience as a first-time home buyer. Tell me if it sounds familiar. So when I started engaging with the Austin market, I interviewed several real estate agents, and I found one that was very experienced, definitely smart, diligent, and overall made a great impression on me. We went and we saw houses. We saw 1 house, 2 houses, 10 houses, I don't remember how many. And then we found a house that we liked, and she told us all the great things about the house, and we bought it. Later, I decided to go into investment properties, and I started looking for investments, but I was the one that had to do all the due diligence, running all the numbers, understanding all the figures, appraisals, rents. But what do I know about Austin? I don't know, not that much at that time, but that was the way that the experience happened. And what I saw is that typical agents, they don't want to take ownership of the deal. They don't want to take ownership of anything. They don't want to promise anything because they don't want you to come back to them down the road with questions. Hey, you told me I'm going to rent it for this, but it didn't really happen. Hey, you told me that the renovation is going to cost me this much. It didn't happen this way. It is a lot easier to focus on the sale of the property and forget about everything else. And most people, they wouldn't even ask for it. And if they do, they're fine with answers like, oh, you're going to rent it between $2,000 and $2,500. Or, oh, you want to renovate the kitchen? It's going to cost you between 20 grand to 50 grand. It doesn't help me. What I needed is experience. That is one thing. The other thing that didn't really work well for me is that when I consult with a professional, I don't want them to just validate all of my good ideas. I want them to protect me. I want them to give me added value. I want them to tell me the things that I don't know. I want them to tell me what is a bad idea. I want them to just give me an overview and not just puff the idea that I have in my head just so I can close a deal. Now, my point here is not to criticize any agent or agents. The point is to explain that in my own opinion, the role of the agent is not to sell you a house. The role of the agent is to guide you through the process and protect you from the market, protect you from the seller, even protect you for yourself sometime by giving you information and data points that you can utilize, whether you want to hear these data points or whether you don't. Oftentimes, I'm telling my clients things that they don't really want to hear. I can be like the bearer of bad news, but it's more important that they know and get an informed decision than to close a house, to close a deal, to close a sale. It doesn't make any sense to me. Stop! I'm all from the future. And I need to tell you something. This is not going to take 3 minutes. I'm thinking maybe 10. Can you extend that counter to 10 maybe, please? Sorry. Real estate agents are not supposed to sell you anything. They are supposed to guide you. They are supposed to leverage their experience in order to give you more success. And this is how I came into this business with the value prop of helping and guiding people. The other thing is, when you deal with real estate, there are a lot of things about the deal. You need to understand lending platforms. You need to understand financing strategies. You need to understand renovations. If you are going to lease a house, you need to understand leasing and maintenance. You need to understand listing properly. There are a lot of things, a lot of layers that are required in order to make a successful deal. But if all you do is sell properties and that's it, it's a bit harder to do. If you're going to refer people to other contractors, you can have relationship, but it's really hard to ensure the quality. And I can tell you that when I started being a buyer's agent in Austin, Texas, my plan was to sell the house, develop relationships, and make sure that people are getting treated properly. But what I found time and again is that it's impossible to assure the quality that I have in my mind when I'm dealing with external contractors, because they don't have the same alignment as I do. My alignment, my business alignment, is to make sure that our clients are successful. We do it because we can scale this way. This is how I got from being like not existing in the market to the #1 real estate agent per the public records in ABOR MLS in a single year. It's probably unprecedented, and it's because something is being done differently and something is being done right. So the process in my company is the following. We start with education. We make sure that people understand the market. People understand their budgetary restrictions. We speak about all sides of the transactions. We speak about your budgetary constraints, about your lending capabilities. We connect you with a proper lender that is a preferred lender that we worked with in the past, and I can leverage my pipeline and my experience to make sure that you are getting the best deal possible. After the education phase, we are doing a deep dive into your personal situation, whether you're buying a house for yourself to live in or whether you plan to buy an investment property. Then we orchestrate the entire search. I'm using my proprietary pipeline that I wrote, remember I'm an engineer too, in order to track down deals that make more sense, properties that are undervalued, properties that can get higher rent prices if you're doing an investment, properties that fit your individual criteria. And then we orchestrate everything on top of that, whether it's tours, virtual tours, whatever the case may be. Once we execute a contract, we are orchestrating everything from there as well. We are not just telling you, hey, find an inspector, good luck, deal with it. We are bringing one of the preferred inspectors, and then our operations team are going to look through the inspection and understand what are the line items from the inspection, how much is it going to cost you, so you can get visibility and transparency into the future instead of scraping your head trying to understand whether this item is large or this item is small. Down the road, if we need to do a make ready to the property, if we need to renovate the property, we need to replace the kitchen, or we need to just put flashing on the roof, our in-house team is going to do it if you so choose. We can also connect you with other vendors as well. But the point of having an in-house team is that everything is aligned. Nobody is playing games here. We don't mark up the renovations because we're not general contractors. We don't care for that. We are here in order to close deals in volume and do it properly and protect our clients while doing it, so they don't need to deal with renovations, GCs, or just things that can cause a lot of friction. Down the road, in case you want to lease the property or do property maintenance, we have this in-house. In case you need to list your house, we have this in-house as well. Because we have an in-house operation team, we can leverage this in order to save a lot of money to the client. The other benefit is, because we have such a big scale, we leverage it with our lenders, with insurance providers, with vendors. We make sure they understand they're not dealing with Joe and Jane Doe. They're dealing with the Investory, and they need to do it properly because there's a huge pipeline that they can lose if something doesn't go right. I can go deeper and deeper into the details, but I'm probably already over the 10 minutes mark. So if I need to sum it up, the point of the business is to make sure that you are getting the same value and treatment that I wanted to get when I bought a house. We're doing it differently. We make sure that our client interest is above everything else, and we do it the right way it should be done. And this is why our performance is unprecedented in this market and probably in some other markets as well. Last but not least, I want to mention the name. Why did I call this company the Investory? I did it because, in my opinion, every property is an investment. Whether it's your own home, whether it's a leased property, it's still an investment. It's an investment in yourself and in your financial future. And it's really important that you account for that and you understand all the financial responsibilities, implications, and potential when you are doing a real estate deal. If you'd like to learn more about the Investory, reach out to me. You have my contact information below. If you want to learn more about the process, we're going to make a longer video that is not 3 minutes long. 10 minutes. So I can kind of explain it better. And last but not least, if you'd like to learn more about real estate, about the Investory, about Austin, follow us on social media, on YouTube, whatever works for you. Thank you so much for sticking through up until the end, and I'll see you on the next one. That last cut wasn't good, right? I don't think it was. Should I give you another one? Because you only have like 10 takes, right? I'll give you another one. I'm not frugal. I'll do it. All right. Okay, I think that wraps it up. Good luck.